Okay, so for this week, we're going to try something a little bit different. Once again, this is just a technique to help you memorize a Bible verse. So far, we've tried some different things. We've tried just rote memory type techniques. We've tried doing some picture drawing. We've tried doing some music. And now what we're going to do is we're going to act out the verses. This is perfect for people who learn by doing. And by the way, this is great for kids. If you have kids and you want to help them learn scripture memory, this is fun and it actually works really, really well. So the verse we're going to do this week is found in Galatians chapter 2, verse 20. And Paul was writing to the Galatian believers, and they were all sort of confused about their lives and how they were supposed to live. Were they supposed to be the ones doing all the good things in their life, or was it supposed to be Christ working through them? And Paul wants to assure them that their old lives are dead, and Jesus is the one who lives in them and is the one who strengthens them and helps them accomplish the things that please God. So, the verse goes like this. First, we'll just say it. Galatians chapter 2, 20. I have been crucified with Christ. It is no longer I who live, but Christ who lives in me. And the life I live now in the flesh, I live by faith in the Son of God, who loved me and gave himself for me. So, if you're going to do some actions, you can do whatever actions you want to do. I'm going to do some of the ones that make sense for me. You can use those or try your own. So it goes like this. We start with the word I. I. Point to your eye. Easy to do. I have been crucified. Now, for me, I think crucified, I think of somebody who's crucified. So I'm going to stretch my arms out like this as if I'm crucified. Don't worry, that's not sacrilegious. So, I have been crucified with Christ. We can use the ASL sign for Jesus Christ, right? The pierced hands. I have been crucified with Christ. It is no longer I who live. I'm going to do an L, and I'm going to just put it over my heart, because that's kind of where your heart beats. So, it is no longer I who live, but Christ. We've already done Christ. We do that at one again. But Christ, who lives, we already have lives in me. Okay, so far, we're starting to create some different symbols in actions for certain words. So, I have been crucified with Christ. It is no longer I who live, but Christ who lives in me. You got that so far? Here we go. The next part. And the life I now live in the flesh, and you just go ahead and grab a piece of your flesh. So, and the life I now live in the flesh, I live by faith. Now, for me, I'm going to do this. I'm going to cover my eyes, because when you live by faith, you live by faith, not by sight. So, and the life I now live in the flesh, I live by faith in the Son of God. We can do this again. In the Son of God, who loved me. That's an easy one. Who loved me and gave, I'll use this like you're giving something, and gave himself, I'll point, to me. So the last section is a little bit long. Let's go over it. And the life I now live in the flesh, I live by faith in the Son of God, who loved me and gave himself for me. Let's try the whole thing together. Again, you could use your own motions, come up with whatever you like. I'm just giving you some suggestions. From the top, I have been crucified with Christ. It is no longer I who live, but Christ who lives in me. And the life I now live in the flesh, I live by faith in the Son of God, who loved me and gave himself for me. Okay? All right, so I want you to try that. Use those motions, use some of your other motions. Again, these are techniques you can apply to any Bible verse. The point is, number one, it helps you to memorize, and you also might have a little bit of fun. And when you get this planted deep in your heart, I promise you, this Bible verse will not go away. I hope to hear from you. Let me know how it's going. If I can help in any way, feel free to reach out to me by email or text message. God bless you guys.